Okay, we are ready to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. So welcome everyone. We're going to stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to dedicate the moment of silence to our police dog, our therapy dog. And the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Okay, our first agenda item is to review the agenda. So we need to adopt the agenda. Is there any changes that we need to make to the agenda?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we change under F, number 3, the change order 0201. We need to pull it out and vote on it separately from the rest of those.
Okay, will do.
Then I second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Paula. Definitely change that. I want to add just a brief under internal board business, just a quick update on for number 3, just a quick update on the Equity Coalition meeting I attended. That just to update you guys a little bit about the awesome work that they do. Anyone else have any changes? Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries 3-0. Okay, our next agenda item is consider approval of minutes from regular board meeting on February the 25th, 2025. We've had a chance to review those. Is there anything that needs to be changed, or do I have a motion?
You have a motion.
Okay, I'll second. All those in favor say aye for approval.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And then we need to consider approval from the special virtual board meeting on March 10th, 2025. Do we have any changes, or do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. I would now like to call up, I'm assuming, Mrs. Bush for our public school recognitions. There she comes.
Good evening. We will start by recognizing a few great athletes. If Mr. Howard would like to come up. This is the Perseverance Award, recognizing individuals or groups who have demonstrated exceptional resilience, strength, and unwavering determination in pursuing their goals, significant challenges. These recipients often serve as an inspiration to us all. We're going to start with our cheerleaders this evening with Tori Andreasen. Alexis Chamberlain. Weston Dalton. Ethan Hack. Ariana Hampton. And Michelle Smith.
Oh, yeah, we got love Okay, we ready? Let's get a picture, guys. We gonna do a cheer too? Hey.
Oh, let's get Mr. Howard there.
Let's go Guards! Let's go Guards! Let's go Guards! Oh, so you want to hang out with me? Yes. You all in? Okay, we're good now. We gotta stand up for our picture. All right, here we go. All right, let's count to three. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's
And for our exceptional basketball team tonight, we have representing us Kathleen Harley and Hayden Arnold.
They ready to smile and wave? Yeah. All right, here we go. Go ahead. We get there? Mayor, Miss Crosby first. All right, ready? Got it. You got it. Congratulations.
If we could take just a moment for Mrs. Faulkner, Mrs. Conley, Mrs. Whitaker, and Mrs. Wagner to please come up front. If it was not for this talented, inspirational bunch of ladies to take care of our program.
They are ten.
Thank you and the school for taking care of these kids.
Very well, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. During the week of February the 24th through the 28th, students at Baker and RDC competed in the Amazing Shape competition, a competition designed to provide authentic experiences for students to grow in competencies of the Clark County Portrait of a Learner. Students were placed in a variety of scenarios to evaluate their ability to stay calm under pressure, maintain professionalism in unfamiliar situations, and communicate effectively with diverse audiences. This evening, we would like our 4 winners to come up and congratulate and recognize them. We have Miss Ashton Walters, Miss Avery Dorr, Miss Emily Houghton, and Mr. Caleb Howard.
Congratulations, sir.
Our students will
Those
travel.
great handshakes, by the way. Fantastic right there.
Y'all look familiar.
Our students will travel to Georgia for the national competition. And if we could take a moment for Miss Amber, she went around the door, Miss Amber Murphy.
Knew it was coming.
Knew
You
it.
tried that. Come on, oh, you can go on up.
There's a lot of strategic planning that goes on and pieces that have to make this puzzle work. And thanks to her, our 3 students get to go to Georgia, and all that got to participate were how many total?
It was like 130.
That would not have had that experience. Thank you so much. Now, we may have our next legislator or our next superintendent, maybe, not sure, but she is a go-getter. Miss Josie Ward is receiving the Student Leadership and Advocacy Award. Josie has participated in Bloom Kentucky campaign, sharing positive childhood experiences, joining monthly virtual calls and peers, and attending 2 overnight retreats aimed to help youth connect with others across the state and learn more about advocacy and connection. This event kicked off on March the 3rd, where she attended and led the opening remarks for the whole entire virtual kickoff. So please let us recognize our very own Ms. Ward.
Okay, so if anyone, you're welcome to stay through the rest of the meeting, but if you're ready to go, we will give you a minute to leave. Thank you all.
Aye.
Bye, Ethan.
Goodbye, you can see, buddy.
Okay. As they're making their way out, I'll have Miss Kelly Fithen come up for our next agenda item.
Public comments next. Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the public comments. Are there any public comments? Sorry, Kelly.
What you got?
Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Okay, we have two, and I'll ask Mr., is it Stephen Francis? Would you like to come and speak? For-
I was definitely second on there. It's fine. Don't take my my hoodie off if y'all don't mind. Appreciate you. Oh, okay. So I'm here on behalf of the community itself. Give me a second. Get my hair out of my face. See that we had a proposal on the last meeting about the usage of the field behind concrete. First of all, most of you may not know me, but I am a resident of this community. How long I got?
Just keep talking.
Uh-huh.
You're good.
So I'll start with a little introduction, okay? So I'm Stephen Francis. I'm a member of this community, come from the area known as Pointerville. I am the student that grew up through the CCPS. I was kicked out twice before I graduated, once in middle school, once in high school. By the time Superintendent Howard or Coach Howard got here, I was on suspension my entire senior year. We'll table that and get back to it. Some of the problems that we have surrounding this field usage is, one, it's a tradition in the community. It's always been there. Two, we only have one middle school now, and that leaves less children to be a part of different athletic programs and any programs in general. There's only so many spots on the team. Just like on the basketball team, normally there's about 12 to 15 players. You have two teams, you have 30 students as opposed to just having 15 on one team. Football is the same way. Only 11 people can play at the same time. Most high school football teams that are 6A programs have about 60 to 70 students on the team. And on 60 or 70 of those players, only so many of them get to play at a certain time. Normally they have 3 tiers, which is freshman, junior varsity, and varsity, but still, regardless, only 11 players play at one time. However, you need players who don't play to help the players who do play. So you have to have at least 22 players. So if the field is not used, which it has always been used, you have less players in the athletic program. And honestly, football is the one who gravitates the most players to it because you have to have the most players on the field at the time. So like I said, the problem with that is that you have less kids that are involved in activities that take up time outside of school. And like myself, kids at that age tend to get in trouble more times than not if they don't have some other way to have an outlet. Another problem that I see just in the community in general is that whether you board members want to be or not, you are leaders in the community. And it's incumbent upon you to help service the community. The community wants to play on the field, the community should be able to play on the field. They've been doing it since I was young. I'm 37 years old now, so they've been doing it for a long time. I didn't start playing football until I was in middle school. And when I was in middle school, Clark Middle was a thing. And I didn't start playing until I was in 8th grade. And so we have a problem with school pride here. Part of that problem is I think that there was a correction in that in hiring Chris Sherrock to come and play at the middle, or come and coach at the middle school, because we have enough talent here that we shouldn't have to search outside of our walls. Like Lexington's ice isn't colder than ours, and so there's no reason for us to look outside of our city in order to fix the problems that we have. Our football program is not actually a program. When speaking about education, we understand that when kids, I'm mathematically inclined, so I'm gonna use math. When kids go through school and they go through the stages from elementary up to middle school, they learn addition and subtraction first. They do not forget what they learned in addition and subtraction in order to learn multiplication and division. When we play football, we may all line up in the same place. For instance, in Civitan, they call it CCY now, CCYA. If a running back has the ball and he's lined up in a position, whether you know football or not is irrelevant, but if he's lined up in a position behind the quarterback in Civitan, he may be called a running back. He gets to middle school, he's called a tailback. He gets to high school, he's called an A-back. And so instead of developing knowledge about football, he's just trying to learn where he's supposed to be at on the field, even though he's standing in the same spot. That's not good, because there's a certain thing that, like when you go into a math class in high school, they expect you to know certain things already. Same thing when you get to high school. When you've been playing football since you were in 3rd grade, when you get to 9th grade, they expect you to know certain things already. And if you haven't been in the same system the entire time, then it's going to be difficult for you to pick up on that. Other kids do know that. The problem with that is it's hard for people to be competitive in something that they're not accustomed to. So the solutions, because nobody likes to hear anybody complain all the time, but the solutions would be, one, allowing CCYA to keep the field. Competition breeds success. Nobody ever got better by not having any competition. If the middle school team has a better offering than what CCYA has, the middle school will have the better players. If they don't, they won't. At the end of the day, there is no CCYA for football, for high school. So when everybody gets to high school, whether they want to be in CCYA or they want to stay with the middle school team, there's not an option. You have to go to high school. Sometimes we have to be a little bit more realistic. For the parents that's a part of the CCYA or just in the community in general, I would advise that you shouldn't be the antithesis to the program. For football specifically, the only way for you to advance in football is to play through school. So another solution that I have is we probably don't need CCYA. We probably just need to start doing our youth programs in general, all of them, through the schools. The reasons why is because of the cost structure. We're leaving the parents with the cost of providing an activity for their children. They already pay taxes to the schools. The schools can do that for them. The schools have the facilities. The schools know what it costs in order to do the helmets and buy jerseys and do all the financing. The schools have boosters. If the schools need more money, that's where the community needs to get involved. If you go to the games, they'll have more money for sports. It's really that simple. They're your kids, so you should want to go and see them play. They shouldn't have to advertise. We have one high school in the 6A district or 6A region, and Winchester is full of people, and Walmart and everything. When you go to other places like Danville, I understand Danville is not a 6A school, but when you go to Danville and they play, it's probably like a sundown town because everybody's at the football games. And in order to do that, you got to establish school pride. And the best way to do it is to start early on. If the kids are going to the school and they're playing sports at the school, just like when it was Clark Middle versus Concrite, we had school pride. And at the time, Clark Middle was far better at athletics than Concrite was. It's been like that the entire time Clark Middle was in existence. Nobody complained about that though. So in order to develop school pride, it's best to start it early because what they do early, they'll take with them for the rest of the time. So that's the competition and consolidation. The reason why this is important to me, like I said when I started, I've sat in front of this board before. When I got kicked out of school when I was a junior in high school, I sat in front of this board, and not the same people, but I sat in front of this board, I was with my mother, and they was telling me about, because I had been suspended from school like 10 times my sophomore year. My head football coach was the principal who suspended me, so we had a difficult relationship. But they sat in front of me and they told me about how I could be better and I was a leader in the community, and it seems like every time something happened at the school that I was in the middle of it, I was leading the charge or whatever. Our school colors are red and black, and it got to the point of where they actually told us that we couldn't wear red and black t-shirts when we went to school. I may not think it was that bad, but that's actually something that they put in the school dress codes, that we couldn't just wear plain red and black t-shirts when we went to school. But a year later, when I graduated, I had won the state powerlifting championship, and I had graduated from school. Without football, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you, because it was only through football that I wanted to try in school. I graduated high school with a 2.3 GPA, even after being suspended and being on probation my entire senior year. Now I stand to you as a man who has 4 college degrees, 2 bachelors and 2 masters, but the only reason why I went to college was so that I could play football. So do not take this away from the children, because I promise you that there will be a child like me who wants to play football, and it's the only thing that they want to do. And most of these kids who go to school, yeah, you guys may say education helps you in the long run, but all they can see is what's directly in front of them. And for some of them, sports is all they got. Sports is the only reason why they show up to class, the only reason why they listen to the teachers, the only reason why they try. Otherwise, they would be doing other things. So if it's up to you, I would say allow them to do what they've always been doing. But honestly, in order for the community to be one, I think it'd be best if we just put the youth programs in the schools, let the schools control the cost culture, the cost structure, so that we can help the parents, so the ones who don't feel like they have enough money can just send their kids to school, and their kids can decide whether or not they want to be a part of that. And I understand that means that coaches from CCYA would need to be involved in the schools and everything. I'll let y'all work out the logistics on that. But do not take all of this away from the kids, because I promise you, I am the kid that they are talking about. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. James Day.
I think mine's more of a question on the memorandum of understanding, exactly what was it. I was excluded from a lot of the meetings and don't know, and some of the people that came back asked about the memorandum of understanding, exactly what that entails that we can use the field for. I know as of now, at the beginning, it was that we weren't able to use the field at all if we did a 5th and 6th grade travel team. I think now it's been revised to where it is we can, but the only kids that cannot play on that field is the 5th and 6th grade travel team. We will have a 5th and 6th grade travel team. This has been a huge fight, or however you all want to look at it. And it was a hard decision for us. We don't like doing this. I want to coach football. That's all I want to do. I want to be in kids' lives, be a positive role model for gentlemen like that. But because of how this was structured, how people want to say that we were all upset because we didn't get hired, we weren't upset. We were just the ones in the ditch that's been doing this for a long time, and a lot of us was excluded from being asked on how can we merge the two together. And I mean completely excluded. Some of the guys that were allowed to have interviews that had the appropriate people come in were put into positions at the high school. 5 of our associate coaches have been asked to be coaches on the middle school team. But because of but making it weird, the whole thing about not having good conversations where we sit down and we talk just because we don't like people, we don't like their live videos, and we don't like the way that they present themselves. We didn't have that communication, and it's made it weird. And there will be kids that will have to. And I wish the middle school the best of luck, because there's kids involved in this. But there are also parents that have said to us, "We just want to do what we did last year. Will you all do it?" And we're like, "Yes, but we will have all away games, unless we find someone that will have a field for us that we can use." And they're like, "We're cool with that." So there is dwindling numbers in the middle school, and this is not a fight. This is about what kids want to do. And whenever you have had them since they're in kindergarten and they're pre-K, and they come up and they're used to you, and when they think about football, they think about you, it would have been really easy, a lot easier if there had been some communication. And there had been some we, not just me, and then us and them. And that's where it's come. It's been us and them. And that's not we, not me. And for me, I understand the memorandum of understanding as far as if that is what it is. 5th and 6th grade travel can't play. Okay, we got that. We're going to continue to have our season. My thing is that there's a lot of eyes on this, and then I'm gonna try to phrase this the way that it was phrased to me in a meeting from one of my assistant coaches that come back to me. There are a lot of eyes on this. This 5th and 6th has to be a success, and if it's not, my job may depend on it. I'll leave it at that on how that was said. I just say, hey, everybody keep an eye on the 5th and 6th. And everybody know that this could have been different. The guys in the ditches that you just didn't like could have been included. I told them when I interviewed, I'll work with anybody, because I'm about the kids. I'm still here. I don't want to be here. I want to be out here worrying about my flag season that I've got 250 kids signed up to play in. That's what I want to be worried about. Not being here trying to argue a point about, oh, please give us the field for all of our kids. We're still Clark County kids. Everybody keeps saying, oh, it's free. The middle school's free. No, it's not. Nothing's free in this world. Taxpayer pay that. Every taxpayer pays for those fields. My kids that are on this 5th and 6th grade team have families that are taxpayers. And they said, we want to do what's known with you, because it's pretty good. I mean, we were second place. I mean, like, do the research. I'm not going to sit up here and brag. But do the research on the organization. Our travel program's getting there. Our rec struggles because we need more people to be volunteers. But this could have been different. We could have not been set. This didn't have to happen. This was made. The people behind this whole hire, it was made weird.
Well, thank you for coming and
Thank
speaking
you.
with us. Okay. We'll move on to our next agenda item, our Student Learning and Instructional Services, Mrs. Kelly Fitton.
Good evening. Our instructional spotlight tonight is on Baker Intermediate and our English Language Learner Program. So I'm going to ask that Mr. Mounts come up and he will start speaking on Baker Intermediate.
All right, and I just have to ask you all, what's the over-under on my time here? I just want to know.
You are good, Mr.
I
Mouse.
know you've been warned. Mr. Howard told me he warned you all. Oh, I'm sorry. This bell's on me right
But
here.
really, I want to hear what you have to say, Mr. Mouse.
Oh, yeah, I'm just messing with you. Well, I want to introduce my crew I have tonight, if that's okay. I have our wonderful assistant principals, Mrs. Renee Ware, she's our 5th grade principal. Mr. Robert Hammonds, he is our 6th grade principal. And I have our fantastic MSD teacher, Miss Lindsay Wagner. She's going to talk to you a little bit later about our spotlight tonight. She's going to be the one talking. So back in August, I'm touching this mic, you are on me. Miss Fitton and Mr. Howard, back in August, they started talking about something called Big Rocks. What's foundational to your school? What are you working on? What are you chipping away at? I said, I like that. I like big rocks. I like that way that sounds. So I go back and I'm thinking about our big rocks as a school. And I'm getting ready to talk to our teacher leaders. And all day long I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about? These big rocks. What are we talking about here? So I start thinking about it, and I call Miss Fifth, and I said, I'm about to give the greatest speech ever about big rocks. I said, I want you to come. She said, I can't come. I said, okay, I'm going to tell you about it later. So I go, and there are my teachers. I've got team leaders, counselors, core content leaders, the assistant principals are in there. And I give a 20-minute speech about big rocks. And the whole time, I'm thinking, I got them right where I want them. I felt like Bear Bryant, I felt like Nick Saban, Rick Pitino, you name the coach. I thought I had a meeting out of the palm of my hand. I said, we're going to write down our big rocks now. And I said, before we do you have any questions? And one of our teacher leaders raised her hand. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, big rocks? I said, yes, ma'am, big rocks. She looked at me and her eyes got big. She said, I don't get it. I said, just write some goals down. So tonight we're going to talk to you a little bit about a couple of our big rocks, and we differentiate our goals by department. But as a school, two things that we hang our hat on are congruence. How do we align our systems, our programs to meet our needs as a school, but also to align to our district vision. And then connections, how are we connecting kids, how are we connecting our colleagues, and how are we connecting our families and our community. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Ware. She's going to talk to you about congruence.
Good evening. We've done a few things this year to tighten up on our congruence. One of the things that we did is we took our PLC protocol. Our teachers meet every Tuesday afternoon in professional learning communities, or PLCs, and we gave them a protocol that would help them to tighten up their congruence in a couple of different ways. One thing that they've been doing is they have been sharing their Kagan strategies each week, their engagement strategies, so they're taking turns as departments, sharing what they've done well, how they've differentiated the structure depending on the classroom and the needs in that classroom. Another thing that we've done is they've really taken that protocol and used it to guide them when they're mentoring their new teachers. So the teachers that are new to the department, these are the structures that we've got in place. These are the things that we teach. Do you all need help with those things? And they share all of their resources together, which is so important, so that no man's an island at Baker is what we like to say. And then another thing that we do is throughout the year, we monitor as an admin team, us and Ms. Hill, the structures that have been adopted in the classroom. So we've done something, it's called a Kagan walkthrough, and we've done 3 rounds of those Kagan walkthroughs, and the teachers sign up for when they would like us or the other Kagan coaches in the building to come watch them teach the lesson, and then we give them immediate feedback on, okay, so this is what you did well, and this is what you could do to make it an even better structure. So we've done that, as well as our walkthroughs that we do just periodically to check for learning standards. Because one of the things that we really ask our teachers to dive into whenever they're doing their meetings each week would be the standards. What standards do we need to teach? And they pull that up faithfully every week. This is where we're at. We've covered these well. The kids have got it. We're still struggling with these standards, and they kind of highlight as they go the ones throughout the year that they feel really good about. And then they don't highlight them until they feel great about them. If they're not highlighted, we've still got to cover those. So those are some things that, and the resources, I need to talk about iReady. Our teachers all use iReady. They've learned through, Ms. Hill's been so valuable in helping us to really dive into all the reports that the teachers can do. And when they do those reports, they can see what grade level the kids are on, and then they can use something called a teacher toolbox to tell, okay, this is what grade level the kid's on, and these are the foundational skills, if they're below grade level, that they really need, so that they can differentiate those lessons in small groups on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or they can pull the kids aside in a small group in the whole group setting, or even just develop a whole lesson plan for a whole group if the whole class has a need, a foundational need. So those are some of the ways that we ensure that we have congruence in our departments and in our whole building. And now it's Mr. Hammond's turn for connections.
Well, they put me down that because I'm the fun principal.
That's true. That is not a lie.
It's an inside joke if you know that one. But a couple things, they do a lot of great things at Baker, and some of the things I just want to mention about our kids. 36% of our kids are involved after school clubs, which is huge. Also, 38% of our kids are involved in the performing arts, which, if you know anything about our 6th grade band today, was distinguished when they came back today. And I think we've been distinguished across the board all year. And orchestra, band, chorus, everything, which is great. A couple things that we do with the teachers and stuff. We do some Friday focus meetings. We meet with the teams, some housekeeping things just to see what's going on in the school, get a pulse temperature of what's going on. We've got collaborative meetings that we do also. Some of our EC teachers meet with the teachers. We make sure that we're hitting all the IEPs, everything else for our kids to make sure we're getting all our data collected. We got staff traditions. If you've ever been to the chili cook-off,
Yes.
Some of y'all were judges.
Yum.
Chili cook-off, yeah, it's always good. We got potato bars. We have Old Harv. Old Harv is a staff tradition. Santa Claus comes to town. We celebrate a lot of things. We celebrate our kids. We celebrate our staff. We celebrate our school, and I think that's one of the great things about it. There's a couple things that we do also. The mentors. Miss Davis does a super job with Frisk. Band mentors come in. We have people in our buildings all the time eating lunch with kids, which I think is just awesome. Social media, I don't know who does our social media, but man, if you've ever seen our Facebook page, it is something to see. But, our PTO is great too, despite getting all of our PTO. They do some of the, coming from higher levels down, coming down to this level, I've never seen a PTO do so many things for staff, and it's really cool. They do it for the kids too. We do some things like, we send our kids on trips, recipes for life. We do a dollars and cents program tomorrow. I think some of you all are volunteering and will be there also, which for the 6th grade, which is really cool for them to learn about some money and buying some things. We do things like No One Eats Alone Day, digital citizenship. We're trying to attack cyberbullying. Of course, Future Bulldog Night. We've got some attendance meetings, but we try to include everybody. We try to include the students, the staff, and the community. And honestly, Baker's a really good place to be. Most of y'all know that.
And for our academic instructional spotlight, we want to highlight the great work that goes on in our MSD classroom. And so Ms. Lindsay Wagner is going to talk to us about our community-based instruction. She's going to talk to you about our coffee cart, and she's going to talk to you about Special Olympics.
Hi. So CBI stands for Community-Based Instruction, and it involves teaching functional skills to students in a naturally occurring or a real-world environment. And CBI helps just bridge the gap between skills that the students are in the classroom into a real-world environment. CBI helps to promote independence, it helps prepare students for adult living, and it just provides a motivating opportunity and a really meaningful practice opportunity. Some examples that our class has done recently include grocery shopping, so they help prepare lists of things that we need. They locate items with aisle numbers. They load items onto conveyor belts, they interact with cashiers, and they help to pay. We've also practiced eating meals at restaurants. So students practice ordering, they pay for their items, and students learning to count money or change generalize that skill from the classroom at restaurants. Some other things we've done is go to movie theaters, public parks, libraries, pumpkin patch, hardware stores, animal shelters. We've seen plays, Dollar Tree, Kroger, and Walmart. And most of these CBIs are funded through our Baker Brew House, which is the weekly coffee cart. Students prepare pre-ordered coffees, lattes, baked goods, and they develop their communication skills when they go and deliver coffees to their teachers, and they further generalize those money skills when they take payments and provide change back to their teachers. The money earned allows them to do CBI activities like pay for their meals or pay for their movie tickets, or we go shopping and buy classroom supplies so we can do hands-on activities like cooking in the classroom. And then another opportunity our students with disabilities have here in Clark County is the Special Olympics program, which you've met some of those athletes earlier tonight. So right now we have bowling, basketball, and cheerleading. And in the past we've done swimming, track, soccer. We have this open to athletes from 5th grade all the way through graduation. And recently our basketball team has been successful. We've made an appearance at the state tournament last year. This year we moved up a division in competition, and then we also were able to host our first tournament here in Clark County, the Cardinal Classic. We hosted 8 teams from neighboring districts came and played. It was a huge success. The Special Olympics program allows the athletes to develop their physical fitness, engage with their friends, be competitive in sports, and our district has been so supportive with this program. They make sure that all of our students feel like an integral part of the school community, and they feel just as important as all the other athletes from competitive sports here in Clark County. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Who won the Cars Classic?
We did.
You're daggone right. Thank you all.
Evening, everybody. I'm Ken Kugel, and I work with our English learners and also the migrant education program. So I just wanted to talk a little bit, give you a little overview of our English learners program and talk about, in particular, this Finish Line English learners curriculum that we started this year. Currently we have right at 250 English learners across the district, and so those are students that have been identified as English learners by completing the home language survey that all students complete when they come into the district. So if they answer anything other than English on that home language survey, then we continue a process to identify them as English learners and get them in the program. To exit the program, students take what's called the access test, and that's administered every January. The access test has 4 domains, so students are tested in listening and reading, writing, and speaking. It's all done online, And one of the difficult parts of that test is it's given one time during the year, and it's something that is kind of unfamiliar for the kids. They're given a headset and a microphone, and if you can imagine a second grader of any second grader being told you have one opportunity to record your answer to this speaking response, make sure you hit start and stop, good luck. So that's what they're kind of presented with every January when they take the access test. Of those 250 English learners, we have 96 that are identified as finish line students. So to exit the finish line, exit the EL program, you need to have a proficiency of 4.5 on that access test. So these are kids that have reached 3.5, and so they're kind of functioning in the classroom and able to participate, but really just need that extra support to go ahead and complete and exit the program. Once they exit the program, they're monitored for 4 years. They're redesignated fluent English proficient. So we check in on them. But to kind of help them get over that last little hump, we have initiated this Finish Line English Learners curriculum. It's something we got from Continental Press. It's an online curriculum, so it not only mirrors what those 4 domains of the test look like, it aligns with what they need to do in the classroom to perform in the classroom. And so they're given writing prompts, they have speaking opportunities to speak, and they can hear their responses. They can record and then listen to their own responses. And then obviously the listening and reading exercises will transfer over to the classroom as well. So we've really been working with all the students that are at 3.5 or higher to help them get that extra support they need to exit the program. Currently we have 10 EL staff that work across the district. We have 6 EL teachers and 4 interpreters that are Spanish language interpreters. Obviously we have other languages represented in our EL population, but our Spanish speakers are the overwhelming population. So anyway, we're really excited to see that access test has completed, and we don't have the results back yet, but I think regardless, this is a program that's going to benefit our students moving forward. So that's about all I got. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Did you all have any questions? Did you all have any questions for Mr. Mounts or his team or Mr. Kugel?
Been good?
You're good?
No, it's all wonderful.
Okay, thank you all. All right, moving on to our next agenda item. We're going to acknowledge and approve the CCPS Rise Academy Handbook for the 24-25 school year. Ms. Allison Nelson.
Good evening. So I'm here to simply present this year's version of our Rise Academy handbook. I've spoken in front of the board before about Rise Academy. That is our program where we are partnering with local mental health agencies to provide intensive supports to elementary age students. So this handbook is structured in the same way that all of our other school handbooks are, so it should look fairly familiar to you board members as well as parents and staff, and it simply lays out the requirements, the expectations, and the programming that is involved at Rise Academy. So this should be pretty short and sweet. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to review it. If you guys have any questions, I would be happy to answer those, but it goes over the referral process. It goes over the programming, enrollment criteria, and talks about transitioning as well for students. So yeah, so that's pretty much it.
You don't have any questions?
Any questions?
No, I thought it was good.
Good, good. And the hope is moving forward is that this handbook will be, it'll accompany all the other handbooks as we revise those annually. So,
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Good. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll ask Mr. Darren Snell to come up to discuss, consider approval for renewal of student accident insurance for the 25-26 school year.
Yeah, I would like to thank Mr. Roberts, Mr. Naley for their work on the student accident insurance. It's an identical policy as to what we had last year, and the premiums have not increased at all.
Oh,
That's the best news I heard.
does anyone have any questions for Mr. Snell? Okay. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
all very much.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you guys.
If you ever need anything, my cell phone, Dustin's got it, so it's done.
Oh, thank
And
you
like
all
I
for
said, they're
coming.
great partners with us, and like I said, I appreciate you both.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
coming. Okay. Okay, so the next agenda item is consider approval for change order. I'm going to go ahead and say 02.01. We're going to separate them out. This is for the new Clark County preschool project with no added cost to the project. Hello, Mr. Walker.
Hello.
You might not have known, we are pulling out the first one separately. One of us has a conflict. And so
0201.
Yeah, 0201.
Okay.
And then then we'll do the rest. So. I know it's kind of,
0201 is,
With Randall Davies.
yes, this is a no-cost change order due to the unexpected plant shutdown. The contractor had to obtain asphalt material from another source in order to complete the work ahead of inclement weather. Moving the remaining balance of the purchase order back to the contractor, it is a net zero cost to the owner.
okay. Okay. I will make a motion to approve change order 0201.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay. All right, motion passes 2-0.
It'll be 3-0.
Okay, 3-0. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do the rest of them all together.
01 and 02 were both kind of paired together as one with the asphalt, taking money from one direct purchase to the other. The other two change orders were with masonry, and it shifted money from the masonry to Central Kentucky Glass as they were doing some work around windows, door jams, and caulking. And so again, zero cost. It was just moving the money allocated in the bid documents from one contractor to another.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Watkins? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kaiser,
And I'll second.
second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Right? Our next agenda item, I'll ask Mr. Jamie King to come and we will consider approval of the 24-25 modified school calendar. Good evening.
This will take into account all of our non-traditional instruction days, and then we had two regular snow days, non-instruction. That was January 6 and 7. So the request on the amended calendar would just leave the closing day the same, would move to a 170-day calendar. And that would still, we added teacher work days in at the end to make sure we get their contract days in.
Okay. And that date's the 22nd or the 23rd?
Closing day for students will be the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, last day for students.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. King?
No, I think it's great up there.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the modified school calendar to excuse the two snow days in January and keep the last day for students May 22nd?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Second.
Second, Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. All right, this one is going to, I guess we're going to have to set, consider approval of Jersey's high school graduation on May 23rd. That's so, can't do it. Can't do it. Mr. King.
Whenever you are ready to have graduation.
That'd be about 20 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah, so having approved the amended calendar, just a request to go ahead and set the graduation date for Friday, May 23rd at 7.
Yes, okay. Anyone have any questions for Mr. King?
Yeah, I think it's great. That'd be Friday night and project graduation. A lot of people,
Yeah.
parents and staff won't have to work, so.
Yeah, and they,
Plenty of time to order invitations if you had a
oh,
senior.
sure. You,
Whether,
inclement weather, Mr. Howard, are we going to have an alternate date?
So we are working with the high school on a plan to possibly even have an in the gymnasium alternate plan, so we wouldn't have to move it. So Ms. Sirach and the high school staff are working on that. We've looked at logistics even with, if we would have to limit tickets. But I think we've got it to a number based on the current high school senior class that each family would still get about 10 tickets.
Oh.
So again, that's not official, but that would be our plan for an alternate.
For
So that one, we're not graduating in the rain if we miss the prediction on when the rain's going to come in.
It's so much fun.
You know, it's memorable. We've tried that. I lost a suit on that. But this will ensure too that we're not pushing it to where some families then can't be there on a Saturday or Sunday. And then at that point, someone is missing out on their high school graduation. So that is going to be our plan moving forward, is we would just move it inside. And I'll get you guys the details when we have that hammered out. It's a great question though.
Okay. And project graduation would go on no matter what?
No matter what that night.
Yeah, that is a fun community to be on. So, I guess I'm gonna make the motion to approve GRC graduation for May 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Mr. King. Okay. I'm going to ask Ms. Alicia Ellis up to give us our monthly financial update.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, good news, we are on track. We are 60% last year and 60% this same time, a collection on revenues. We were 45% last year, 47% on expenditures, which is to be expected with inflation over this last year. So we're tracking exactly what we would expect for this time in the budget season and compared to the same time last year. Our taxes, overall, we were 91% last year. We're 91% again at the same time. You can see there's a little bit of fluctuation between the different categories, but we're over on our property taxes for what we had budgeted, so that's fantastic news. Again, we always try to be very conservative on that budget for the intention of collecting more than what we budgeted, because we don't want to spend out more than we bring in for the year. So that's an intentionality. And then if you factor in what we have already collected in March, but is not reflected on the February reporting we're talking about tonight, motor vehicle is up to 58%. Our property taxes are up another percent to 102, and the franchise is at 65%. So, very good news. Any questions on anything?
You want any questions? Okay. All right, our action is to authorize payment of salaries and accounts payable. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'm making a
Second.
All right, motion by Ms. Thomas, second by Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Our next agenda item is consider approval to renew primary depository services.
So we are asking to extend our banking services with Traditional Bank, which is who we are with currently. We have that set up on a one-year agreement that we both mutually agree to either renew, or we may rebid services if that is the choice from either party. So currently we had Fed funds minus 15 basis points, which puts us at a 4.35% interest rate, which has been fantastic for us this last year. Again, there's limited ways for us to have revenue sources, and we try to maximize that as best as we can, and interest is one of those ways that we can do that to get some extra dollars to help with our instruction of our children. So they are actually losing money on us right now. So they will continue to lose money on us until June 30th. So they have asked to revise their agreement to Fed funds minus 50 basis points. So that's 35 difference from what we're making now. So we would go to 4% starting July 1 if Fed funds stayed exactly the same as it is right now, which you're seeing trending down with all the interest rates going on. So deposits are trending down, loans are trending up, so they're losing money on us. So they're trying to, they want to keep our business. Obviously, they're a great bank to work with, and we'd like to stay with them, but they also are a business and need to make an adjustment with the agreement we have with them.
Have you compared them to any other banks?
We did not do a bid this time. We did a bid 2 years ago and went with them because they gave us the best rate at the time. But
is that something we should check into before we?
That is the board's choice. With the trend of how things are, I'm kind of scared, I'm just going to be honest, to put it out there for bid because I feel like we won't even get Fed funds minus 0.5. But, you know, that's still a really good rate. But it's the board's decision.
What'd you say it was last year?
Fed funds minus 15
Minus
basis
15.
points.
I think we should put it out there, but I don't know what, you know, that would be my vote.
Okay. I will,
I'm kinda like her, I'm scared to put it out there because I just see what's happening with everything, with inflation and.
Yeah, the fear would be that if we
If we
did
bid
put
it
it
out,
out,
then
we
they're
may not
probably
get
gonna
the same
come in at a
offer,
different-
and so then by bidding it out, we would actually get a worse deal.
Correct.
But
So
again,
they've
I don't-
offered us this, I will tell you, the cash management officer that I work with, she said it would be more like Fed funds minus 1 if we, or 100 basis points essentially, is what they would do if we did a bid. So with that being said, like they gave us the absolute best deal that they could give us to keep our business without having to bid it. But if we do bid it, it won't be that good of a rate. So that's why we are presenting to just renew. But again, board's choice.
Can you just talk to other banks without actually putting out a bid?
We can, but we can't go with anybody's business or accept an official offer without a request for a bid.
Do you have to vote tonight?
We don't have to, no ma'am.
I kind of think, I'd like to see maybe what others there might be somebody else out there that would do a little better. You never know if you don't check and see.
Ms. McCoy, when it comes to, because we usually have 5, if we vote 2 to 1,
It would not pass.
it would not pass?
Or you could vote to table it till.
Okay. I make a motion. When do you have to have an answer, Ms. Ellis, to that?
We have to start new services July 1 with whatever bank, and so it's a little bit of a moving process. So if we switch, I would like it next month to be determined what we're gonna do.
Unfortunately, Ms. Ritchie Rowland and Mr. Dorsey were unable to be here due to sickness, so that's the reason why they're not here. I would like to table this particular item until our next board meeting, our regular meeting, is how that works. So, okay. All right. Well, I guess we need to vote on that, though. Do we have to vote on that to table it?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to table the renew primary depository services. Do I have a second to table the motion?
No, only way I'll table is if she's gonna check with some other banks. Not even put the bid up there, but just kind of talk to some other
I'm
people.
making a motion to table it till next month.
If she'll talk to some other banks, but otherwise we just vote on it now.
I am asking.
So let me try to clarify. So the only thing that
All she's doing is saying, let's table this till next month for Ashley and Ben to be here before we make any decisions on whether we use them
But
or
that's-
send it out for a bid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she's not gonna talk to anybody else, and
Well, she'll do whatever I tell her to because she's my employee, but whatever you guys direct us to do, then that's what we would look at. But there is no motion to put it out for bid. That's what we would have to vote on
yeah,
tonight.
I wouldn't want to actually go up for bid. I was just
Okay.
wanting to see if she could just talk to some other banks,
Okay.
just see if there's something else
Okay.
that they might.
Then I will have a conversation with her about that,
Okay,
absolutely.
then we'll table it then. We'll look at
Okay.
that.
I second your table motion.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
What is your vote, Ms. Thomas?
I said yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion passes 3-0. Our next item is consider approval to renew audit services. Ms. Ellis?
So we are asking to extend our audit contract with the auditors that we just contracted this last year, Patrick and Associates, to have them also do the audit next year for the current fiscal year we are in. We've developed a good relationship over the last 2 years, and they were the only bidder when we did put it out for bid 2 years ago. So again, we would like to extend that because it's hard to develop a relationship with an auditor, so to switch again after just 2 years would be difficult to just start all over again with someone else, so we'd like to continue that business relationship.
And do we bid that every 2 years? Is that what we do?
It's upon the board's choice, either to
To bid.
renew or to bid.
After several years, they do recommend that you look at other folks just to give variety, and you're doing it the right way, but we've only had them for 1 year. They gave a presentation to the board, I think in January. We're just now understanding kind of what they're asking for us, so it would be a big switch to move for this month, or for this next year. And they've given us a lot of things to work on and improve on, so I'd really like to continue that process, at least for another year or so. So that would be my recommendation. And most of the contracts, that's not like a moneymaker for us. We have to have an audit, we have to have an auditor. They've actually done in my opinion, a much more thorough job than previous companies we've worked with.
I make a motion to approve.
Then I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Okay. Our next agenda item is consider approval of BG5 closeout.
So similar to last month, we've got another project that we're on the paperwork trail to get closed out. There's about $3,800 in residuals on this project. It's not a whole lot, but just just finalizing some things and working through that list that we have open projects, so.
Is it any specific project, or is it?
This is the renovation that we did at, where's the title? Clark Middle, which would be Baker, so it's back from 2013. So it's been quite some time ago.
That's never been closed out?
There is quite a long paper trail, and there was some, which previous boards would know, we've been back and forth a little bit on this project with the roof at Baker. So this is part of the project that did that roof, and there's been some back and forth, and we finally have finalized all that back and forth with that company, and have gotten to the point we can close the paperwork out.
And they completely close it out.
This completely closes this project out, yes, sir.
Get it off the books.
Yes,
Get it off the
please.
books.
This is the oldest one on the
That
book,
should
so
have been a long time
I'm ready
ago.
to get, I'm
That was
coming,
a good
yes.
catch on that, yes. We're not
Yes.
supposed to keep things open for 12 years.
Yes, it's been quite some
I'll
time.
make a motion to
Thank you.
approve.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Kaiser and second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Our next agenda item is consider approval of second KEDS offer for fiscal year 2025.
So, this School Facilities Construction Commission, SFCC, will offer with CATS, which is our technology monies that Mr. Kaysen is over. And this is his grant, basically, his CATS grant that helps us with a lot of technology in our district. So part of the agreement is they give you a dollar amount and the board has to match it to get it. So this is the second offer, and we always say we're going to put it in escrow and it becomes his grant for the next school year that we budget.
So I was reading, I didn't understand it looks like we're escrowing it for up to 3 years or?
Yes, so you have the option to escrow up to 3, and we always just take the full 3-year available, depending on how our budget falls out. Because he is operating in kind of 2 years worth of grants, so sometimes we can do that if budget so calls for it,
But the monies that he gets from the grant, we have to match those monies to be able to use.
Yeah,
that
so
money.
they're giving us $46.30, and we have to put up that exact same dollar amount to create the grant. Otherwise, we forfeit that and they keep it.
Right.
if you
Most of
don't
the
match
principal's
it.
department knows that the kids match, like even when they're putting forth their projects. A lot of our clear touch screens, we're using the catch match for their responsibility for that when we bought those last year too, so. It's a good question though.
And it's really a good thing and needed.
Yes, ma'am.
It basically doubles our money that we can
Yeah.
spend. Yeah, it's great.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the kids offer for.
And I'll second.
all right, a motion by Mr. Kaiser and a second by Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, Ms. Ellis.
Thank you.
And call up Dr. Parrish to consider approval of job description, Assistant Director of Early Learning.
So over the next few months, I plan to bring to you a ton of job descriptions. Clark County is really blessed. We have over 441 pages of job descriptions. The majority of the districts around us have 10 to 20. So if that tells you that we've got some work to do, we sure do. So this month I'm bringing before you 3, and this one in particular is a restructure of our early learning programs. So we've taken the assistant principal's position and we've just retitled it and given some new responsibilities to cover the daycare, the preschool, and the aftercare program. So this is the first one that I bring to you tonight.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Parrish? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve job description, Assistant Director of Early Learning.
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Right. Dr. Parrish, the next one is consider approval of job description, IECE preschool teacher. Is there like another way to say that, or is it just IECE?
It's the IECE,
Okay.
and we just put preschool beside it so to clear up any confusion because it does get long, so.
Yeah, it's the certification that they require to work at preschool.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so preschool teachers are actually required to carry dual certification in regular education and special education. So they are dually certified, and that's where the interdisciplinary part comes in of the IECE. So we are about a decade old in this job description, so we really wanted to revolutionize the responsibilities of the job role as it is today. So that's what this new job description for IECE represents.
Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Parrish?
How many job descriptions did you say we had?
We have 441 pages of job descriptions. It's overwhelming.
To translate that, way too many. So we're going through and looking at certain ones, so we're not creating new jobs, let me say that very clearly. We're just actually using and putting this beautiful heading that says growing greatness on all the ones that we're actually using the district. So that's why there'll be several coming.
So there's gonna be several of these coming that might be like 2 or 3 jobs combined into one job
That,
description.
or changing language, or, I didn't mean to speak for you, Dr. Bush.
Yes, well, that's, the next one coming up is actually 3 job descriptions that we've put in one.
Okay.
So the next one
All right.
definitely encompasses
Did we
that.
make a motion on this anyway?
We have not, no.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Kaiser for approval. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And the next one is consider approval of job description, teacher.
Teachers, so right now we have 3
Got
job
three
descriptions.
versions of that before, so.
We've got 2040, 2050, and 2060 teachers. So we're like, well, let's put them all in one. So this is our new and improved one job description for teacher.
Okay.
So these are all general ed positions in the district.
Gotcha. All right. Any questions for Dr. Parrish? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion Ms. Thomas. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parrish. Okay. All right, we'll move on to internal board business. I'll call up my favorite Chief Mulligan to consider approval of agreement between Kentucky Office of Homeland Security and Clark County Board of Education for a Law Enforcement Protection Program grant.
Yes, this is something we go through every once in a while, like to buy our vest and different pieces of equipment. That way the board doesn't have to pay for the equipment and stuff out of their pocket. This is a way for us to get the equipment we need, and this works with the Homeland Security of Kentucky side by side with it. And what they do is we have to put the money up front first to buy the equipment, and then after we get the canceled check and stuff, we are able to turn that back into them, and they refund us the money that we spent on the equipment. So it's kind of like borrowing the money and then paying it back, basically. But this is This resolution is designed to give permission with the superintendent to enter into a contract with them, saying that this is what we'll do, and this is what the particular equipment we're going to buy and stuff like that. It's like a vest and things like that we go for.
Does anyone have any questions for Chief Mulligan?
You can use it for any kind of enforcement?
No, you got
or
to
is it
particularly,
specific?
you got to, each time you do one of these grants here, you have to tell them exactly what you're buying with it, and you have to stick with it, because if you change it or anything, they will not pay you the money back. So you got to go by their strict rules and stuff. And this particular one is just our equipment for tasers. They're about 9 years old and they're getting obsolete. And so I partner with Jeannie Gwynn at the Winchester Police Department, and she's really good about helping me find these grants and stuff. And this is one that's going to save us quite a bit of money.
So I noticed there's no dollar amount, so it's pretty much...
No, what it is once we get, if you approve it, the superintendent signs it, then we turn in,
Receipts
no, we have to give them the application.
Okay.
And then they will approve how much we can spend.
Okay.
They might take something away, because I'm actually, since we're going to new equipment, I'm asking for a little bit more, and they might not give me everything we want.
Okay.
But whatever thing I can get free, I'm going to take it if I can.
Okay.
So from my end, whatever they approve to reimburse is what I'll approve.
Okay.
So that's basically what the contract's saying.
But it's pretty good, because it's getting where we're finding out there's more equipment, like maybe down the road, we haven't been able to do it yet, but we're trying to look into the radios that we're having issues with and stuff like that. We're trying to, but they have stipulations to them too, like you can only do certain radios and stuff like that. And there might be a way we could do the radios and add something to it after we buy the radios, stuff like that. That's what I've been looking into.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for Chief Mulligan? I make a motion to approve this agreement between the Kentucky Office of Homeland Security and our Board of Education for a Law Enforcement Protection Program grant. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Kaiser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could we have a little break just a moment?
A break?
Yes. could
Okay,
we-
we'll call a
5 minutes or so, whatever you.
5 minutes. Let's go ahead and, is it 7:12 up there? We'll come back at 7:22.
Let me operate this.
Call this meeting back to order at 7:23 PM. I'll ask Mr. Brandon Watkins to come, and we're going to talk about consider approval of an MOU between CCPS and CCYA for the use of the field beside Justice Elementary School, and we're pulling this back out from the last regular board meeting.
So, couple there, yes, we tabled last time to get some more information. A couple of our board members sat down with a couple of their board representatives, and some of the, I guess, differences. We changed the wording to allow all ages for the rec league and flag. Basically, the only thing does not allow a 5-6 travel team, as RDC is offering football there for free and keeping all the kids that come out. So we felt like that's a really good option for that.
Does anyone have any questions or any?
I do. I thought that we were gonna have it where 5-6 could do flag or whatever.
It is, they can
Is it
use
still on
for,
there?
they
Okay.
can use it for anything except for the travel 5th and 6th grade team. They can use it for any other, all the way up to 18, the flag, football 18, and
Just not tackle or whatever you say.
no, it's a travel team, so it's the same thing as like our 5th and 6th grade team, except it's a travel team. They travel different, and they had played here in the past, so. But all the flag football, all the regular rec league in the fall, that's grades, I'm not for sure the grades
I thought it was
from 3rd all the way.
First and second, all the way up to fifth and sixth.
In the rec.
Flag program is actually pre-K. In the
Pre-K.
flag program is pre-K all the way up to 18.
18. And then the regular rec league in the fall is 1st through
The rec
6th.
league, no, the rec league is we have a 3rd and 4th grade league, we have a 5th and 6th grade league.
Okay.
That's what I
So
thought.
all that still would play there.
All that still would
It's
play there.
just the travel team.
And then the travel, we do a 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and a 5th and 6th.
So we're saying no travel teams?
Just
No,
5th and
just the
6th.
5th and 6th grade. Travel team is the only one that's not using the field.
And my understanding, Mr. Watkins, is that you had several meetings with, I mean, it was like a sit-down communication.
We did. Miss Ashley and Mr. Kaiser met with a couple of their board representatives and kind of worked through the kinks, you know, that we felt like to come to an agree, you know, a deal that was better for everybody. It may not be perfect, but it was better for everybody.
Right. Mr. Howard, I'm going to ask you how you feel where it's at now. Is that what is best for Clark County Public Schools and our students?
It's on the agenda because that's my recommendation.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Okay, so they can still go and they can have a travel team.
Yes,
As long as they
yes,
don't practice on that field.
Yes.
Basically it. They can't practice and just use flag or what? No, listen, I'm not real up to good on football, so they can't just practice and do flag when they practice and then travel and do tackle or whatever. So,
That's two total different teams.
Okay.
It's different teams.
Yeah, I have not been involved in any of the negotiations.
That's a different team. A flag football team and the travel tackle team is two different teams. So no, the 5th and 6th grade wouldn't come out there and play flag football and then turn around and go and do the travel ball.
And I think the board's perspective on it was, you know, we don't allow like AAU basketball travel teams to practice at the same time that they're like RDC's 8th grade team, if it's a 8th grade travel basketball team, to be in the same time, you know, competing for the same kids. Outside of that, and we discussed this, outside of that 5th and 6th grade RDC football season, we're not opposed to doing a facility request and accommodating some additional needs that they might have if it's outside of that season window.
okay. Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kaiser. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay. Our third agenda item is just a quick update on the Equity Coalition. I am honored to be on, I'll give them a second. I'm honored to serve, or to represent our board on that Equity Coalition. We met it was last Friday, and they've got lots of really great things coming up, and they're gonna have like a gala to raise funds in August. It's gonna be something fun. We don't get to do a lot of fun things anymore, so all the great work that they do, they go into the schools and mentor our Black and Brown achievers. It's just a really great group. It's a diverse group, and they definitely have the interest of our students in mind. So, like I said, I'm honored to serve on that. It's a once-a-month meeting. It's great. So, just wanted to give that update. All right.
No, and I will be, I knew they were very eager to give you guys an update at the end of the year, all the
Yes.
great things that they've accomplished and done, and then even lay out some goals for next year.
Yes.
So they'll, Ms. Hall will be a part of putting that together, but I told them to shoot for, May, June, probably June. That way they can put a bow on all the programming, and then, again, we'll go celebrate the heck out of kids.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So now it is time for the superintendent's report. Mr. Howard.
Okay, so just a few things I want to highlight. Lots going on around the district. I encourage you guys as board members, but also our community, check our social media, check our school social media there. If you want to be involved, there is literally something you can do every single night. I think a couple of you guys are trying to prove that by all the events I've seen you at, so I appreciate that very much. Even starting tomorrow night, we have an arts gala showcase at the library. It's a great collaboration with the entirety of Clark County, our arts department. I would put our arts department, when I'm talking arts, I'm talking performing arts, fine arts, against anybody in the country, because our kids and our staff are that talented. It will be on display, so you can come by the library tomorrow between 5 and 7. We're currently in the window for spring iReady screenings, so a lot of our schools are finishing up. That is our second to third screening for reading and math. I know you guys have seen some of those screening reports before. I'm working with Ms. Fitton, our principals. They're doing a magnificent job, and we're seeing growth in our students. And again, Hayes not tomorrow, we're gonna work real hard, and I've challenged our principals to not only screen them, but we're making action plans for the next 3 weeks on some of our kids that are close to being on grade level, to making sure that they get there. We're also putting a heavy emphasis for next year. We're in a weird part of the year, so we're finishing out this year, but we're very, very much planning for next year. Working with our staff on professional development offerings, all of them have been polled because we want it to be important. We want it to align with their needs, and we even did it a second time because we felt like not enough people answered. So we want to make sure they answer, so we can, again, design intentionally, because one of our 5 pillars is professional development, continual professional development. With special education, our exceptional children program, we've had the boardroom booked for days with different schools coming in and intentionally scheduling individual kids. And when I mean individual, I mean they're talking about who they should be with next year, what supports they need, how do we meet their specially designed instruction, SDI, how do we meet their goals, so that we're not waiting for a student to not be successful and then changing. We're going to get it right the first time, and especially with our students who need the most support. So I've been super pleased with Ms. Vallejo. I'll give her a big shout out, Ms. McCormick, our principals. When I say the staff are coming in, the entire special education, exceptional children staff are in here touching names, working on making sure they're in the right place. So that has been a huge success. I know Baker is planning on coming in once we get through, I think, testing, is it May? Yeah. Because they're still working on their master schedule, so you can't schedule kids unless that's finalized, and we'll work with their staff on that. There's this thing called spring break. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. I think it's supposed to be next week. I've decided to cancel it. I was kidding. I was kidding. I saw a lot of friends. Somebody's crying back there. Come on, man. Don't be crying back there. I'm just joking. So we will go on spring break next week, and we will return Monday the 7th. We'll send a reminder out on that just to make sure everybody understands we are coming back on that Monday. From there, again, we're kind of in the home stretch. Thank you guys for setting graduation, although some of us are now crying over graduation being on Friday the 23rd. The great thing is our kids will finish up on the 22nd. Of course, the high school will do a fantastic job getting our kids ready to walk across stage. But we won't have kids in the building on the 23rd, which will be nice this year. That did not happen last year. So we won't have issues of students leaving as we're trying to get all those wonderful smiling moms and dads and mamas and papas and aunts and uncles and we will have shuttles. We are working on a shuttle system. Mr. Watkins, Mr. Snell, Transportation always do a great job with that. I would encourage folks to take a shuttle. We do a really good job of getting people there and getting people gone way before other folks are still stuck in the parking lot. We will have thousands and thousands and thousands of people there that night. So let me say that. Do not be surprised when traffic is heavy. All right, I would stick around and hug people. All right, not in a bad, weird way. Just congratulate the journey from a lot of our kids we've had from preschool. I encourage our staff to stay. High five people. Celebrate. It is one of my favorite days of the year because it is the culmination of their hard work, our parents' hard work, grandparents' hard work, and our staff's hard work to get them to not only get a diploma, but now to have a diploma that means something, right? It's a Clark County diploma. We know that they have skill sets that will make them competitive in our global economy and environment and make them workforce ready. And I'm excited about that. So before we graduate, we do have to do this thing called state testing. It doesn't define us. We're going to do our very best. It'll start on May the 2nd. Now that we've set the calendar, it'll be the last 14 days, and we'll get our principal-specific days because every grade level is a little bit different. But that's my summary. In closing, go Cards.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Great. Our last motion or action we need to take is to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion
Make a motion, Mr.
to
President.
approve all consent agenda items.
Or do you do them all at once?
Yes. Yeah.
What if there was one of them that you didn't approve of?
You can pull
You
one
just
out.
pull it out?
Is there something that?
And I'm not saying I do, I'm just saying why.
No, that's a great question. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have any questions before I make a?
No, I don't. I do
Okay.
not. I'm
All
just
right.
seeing what happened.
I will second or make a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I now need to consider approval to adjourn to executive session per KRS 61.810. 1F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual, employee, member, or student without restricting that employee's, members, or student's rights to a public hearing if requested. I need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Okay.
second.
All right, second on Ms. Thomas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We go into closed session at 7:37 PM.